Hey everybody, my name's Seth, and today I want to do a quick rant about Mars. Um, I know recently we have been informed that there's water on Mars, and it's a great discovery, and we're all so excited. But being the Virgo that I am, I kind of want to burst a bubble right now. Um, I think reading through a lot of comments and seeing a lot of people on Facebook and other mediums when we see the announcement and our reactions, I'm getting the idea that some people think that this is a new discovery for absolutely everyone. That every single person in the world is just now figuring out that there's water on Mars. I think that is um, a misinformed assumption, like most assumptions are. If you're going to make an assumption, it's most likely misinformed. And I also feel that it's a bit naive to think that this information is brand new to everyone in the world, including politicians, including governments, including corporations. um, I would say that we have to think about the fact that we're humans and how we work, and we think about the fact that the higher up you go, becomes more about what connections that you have that ends up getting you into the inside scoop of something, whether that be a Hollywood party. If you know someone and you're not a part of Hollywood and you have a cousin who's an actor, you're there. You can get in and you can get to see what it's like to be an actor and be in that lifestyle without actually having to be in that lifestyle. And that's just human nature. That's how we work. The same thing happens in certain situations like this. There are people who have no connection to NASA, no connection to scientific things at all, and they knew this before us. Now, my point being is we're humans. These aren't people who are smarter than you. They're just people who've studied longer. They're not people who are more gifted than you. They've just put their energy into one specific thing for longer. What I want to really shine light on is the fact that, again, that some people are under the misconception that this news is new to everyone. So there's Exhibit A. There are people who have connections who knew this before us. And then Exhibit B, the fact that even if you do understand that this information is most likely not brand new. Of course, they have to check and see and make sure that they're right, and they most likely had inclinations that there was water on Mars. I remember people talking about water being on Mars since I was in grade school, and I've been out of high school for like 4 years. um, so it took thinking and proof and figuring it out. So yes, of course, there was talks, and then we had to figure it out before we actually said it. So of course, some people knew, so to speak. So yes, that is Exhibit B, and that's obvious. And then there's Exhibit C, and that's the fact that yes, there people knew, and we had to make sure that the information was right, and we had to make sure that it was safe to tell everyone. If one country finds out and they just go public before they figure out what it means, we could end up sparking controversy, sparking some type of craziness between other countries, and when it comes to power and what other people plan on doing about this fact that there's water on Mars, and what is everyone's plans going to be. And of course, all these countries, all these nations, all these governments have their own needs and their own wants and their own necessities in mind when it comes to information. Information is power. We're in the information age. The more you have, the more you have. Um, so yes, of course, we would have to think about what the implications are before we went out and just told everyone and spark chaos or something like that. But my question to Exhibit C, is how long do you think that takes? I think it takes a couple days, a couple weeks, maybe even a few months, or do you think it takes a couple years before you go through what could happen, what the implications could be, before we finally tell everyone? How many years do you think a couple years is to make sure that national security isn't threatened? Like most things that come out of the U.S., that's our first thought. How long do you really think that takes? So how long do you really think people knew? And not just people, governments and things like that. We're moving backwards to Exhibit B. They knew for years after it was proven. They had to wait for it to go public as well. And then we have to think about Exhibit A, the people with just connections. How long did they know? if it's been known for years and we had to make sure that it was safe to tell everyone, and of course that takes time and that is obvious. So how long did all of these people in this sort of elitist sort of setup that I've now contrived, this very select group of connected, wealthy, informed, or employed people know? And why are we just finding out now? And why is it that we have to theorize about that sort of question when it's my government I'm talking about? There are conspiracy theories out there that they're planning on going to Mars and starting a whole new colony. And then, like, that sounds insane. That sounds crazy. Why and how could they do that? And how far in the future do you have to plan to even pull something like that off? Would it take months? Would it take days? Would it take years? How long did we know there was one on Mars? Like, I don't know. It kind of kind of makes almost anything possible when you have no idea what the time frame is. Kind of makes anything possible when you have no idea what is happening. And it's pretty easy to make assumptions, but they're usually all ill-informed until you get some facts. I guess I'll bring this back full swing because I'm not sure if people were expecting astrology in this video, but I did bring up the word elitist, defining this idea of mine, and the idea of the people who are in the know compared to us who just found out and are going crazy on Facebook like the world just found out. Like, you know, it's just brand new news. Like, NASA immediately tweeted it after they found it. We are moving into the Aquarian age. And to me, Aquarius rules over the elite. The idea of once you get to the top, you have Capricorn, you've gained all this power, you've gained all this influence that is potential, because Capricorn never stops growing. It never takes the time to stop and influence other people. That's what Aquarius does, because you get all this power, you get all this control, get all this respect, and then you get to this point where you can actually do something with it. You have to find your equals. You have to find the people that have connections to you. You have to utilize these networks, and other people are going to utilize networks with you. Things start to happen where not everyone can be a part of it. Everyone's going to be affected, but not everyone is a part of it. I think they rule over that idea of elite, and I think the idea of us being able to see it in broad light and it being brought to broad light with Pluto going through Capricorn and this age of Aquarius emerging. By the time Pluto moves into Aquarius, the elite will have to reform. And it's kind of a funny question to think, are we going to choose our next elitist group? Are we going to choose what's happening next, or is this exchange just going to happen behind closed doors and we are just going to sit in front of our webcams and theorize about it? So yeah, tell me what you think. I don't know where this came from, but it just annoyed me the more I read about it, and I was like, yeah, I'm excited that this information's out here, but why is it that I've known for a very long time and people have been calling it a conspiracy, and I've known of it as a conspiracy, and now it's fact, and it annoyed me more than excited me, because I feel like the world is becoming I don't know. Hey, thanks for checking out one of my YouTube videos. I love being able to provide you guys with unique astrological interpretations. What I'd like is a little bit of help and support to continue to do so. I provided a link down below to my Patreon page. Check that out. You can see my goals, the plans that I have in store for my YouTube channel, and hopefully lend some support. Thanks for watching, you guys.